episode of Thrown in the Back with Sean Farrell. I am Sean Farrell. God is great all the time. All the time, God is great. Jesus Christ died and he rose again. Let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so Scottie Pippen came to the Portland Trail Blazers in 1999. Okay, it was part of a 7-player trade from the Houston Rockets, in which the Blazers sent about 5 or 6 of their players to Houston for Scottie Pippen. Okay, and he joined a team that went to the Western Conference Finals the previous year. Okay, and so he was thought to be the missing piece. Blazers went 59 and 23. Were on the verge of making it to the NBA Finals until they blew the 15-point lead versus the Lakers. Okay, and then after they blew the 15-point lead, the Blazers, as they were set up, to challenge the Lakers for years. Okay, it was supposed to be them and the Lakers and the Spurs too. Okay, and the Spurs too. They were championship contenders too. But after that Game 7 debacle, Bob Whitsitt broke up the team. Okay, he broke up the team. Jermaine O'Neal asked for a trade. Okay, and Scottie Pippen did not want the Blazers to trade Jermaine O'Neal. He did not want the Trailblazers to trade Jermaine O'Neal because Pippen saw that younger players like O'Neal were going to be the future when they left, when the older guard left. But Jermaine O'Neal asked for a trade. Scottie Pippen didn't want Bob Whitsitt to do it, but he did it. And you saw where Jermaine O'Neal's career started trending upward, okay, with the Indiana Pacers. Okay. Then they traded Brian Grant to the Miami Heat in a 3-team trade that bought Sean Kemp over from the Cleveland Cavaliers. Weight issues, drug problems, attitude issues. Kemp bought all that with him to Portland. Okay. And so then they bought in Rod Strickland later on in the season, which was a mistake. And Rod Strickland admitted a few years ago that him coming back to the Trailblazers for the 2001 season was a mistake. And he had opportunities to sign with the Lakers or the Pacers. And it was thought that he was going to sign with Indiana, but he ended up signing with Portland instead. Okay. And so that was the year Wallace led the NBA with 41 technicals in the 2001 season. Okay. So, and then Kemp had to go to drug rehab in the 2001 season. Okay. So as the 2002 season began, Scottie Pippen was asked. Okay. Scottie Pippen was asked about what it was like to be a part of that 2001 team. Okay. Okay. And reading it right here. Scottie Pippen was direct when he asked how bad it had been with the Trailblazers toward the end of the previous season, 2001. Okay. This is the start of the 2002 season. And Pippen was reflecting on how bad it was in 2001 towards the end of the season. He said this: "It was almost suicidal to be a part of that team. It wasn't a professional team. There was so much slippage, so much fines for being late to practice, for team buses, games, all kinds of mess. All that stuff took its toll on me as a player. There I was, being captain of a team with players who didn't want to show up for work or to follow basic rules of being on time and giving their all in practice and in games. We had players feuding with each other, feuding with the coach, and the players feuding with management. It was an unstable situation where you just don't know what to expect every day when you went to work. If it wasn't one thing, it was another. And you go to work expecting the worst. It was my most difficult season because I'd never been on a team with so many problems. And he also said Rasheed Wallace had been a problem too. Yeah, yeah. Looks like Scottie Pippen is keeping it 100, right? We couldn't win without him in the game, and he knew it. We talked to him again and again, and he promised and he promised to apply more self-control. But our problems involved more than Rasheed. Okay, so yeah, that's what Scottie Pippen had to say about being part of the 2001 team of the Trailblazers. Then the 2003 season. The title of the chapter was Armageddon almost every week. Okay. Now, when you know that the chapter of a book is called Armageddon almost every week, you know something's up. Off the court stuff. I believe that was the year Rasheed Wallace and David Stoudemire got pulled over for smoking weed and speed eating. And Rasheed had to say him his quote, "You ain't gonna find none because we smoked it all." Yeah. Then there was the fight between Zach Randolph and Ruben Patterson. Zach Randolph sucker punched Ruben Patterson and left Patterson with a black eye. And if you remember, Patterson had already had charges against him for sexual assault against his nanny back in Seattle, and he was still on probation for that. So Ruben Patterson couldn't do nothing. So there was that. So there was the Patterson fight, Patterson-Randolph fight, the Stoudemire Wallace incident, and then there was the incident with Quintel Woods, rookie Quintel Woods, okay, who Scottie Pippen was going to take under his wing, who Scottie Pippen said is very talented. And Scottie Pippen felt it was going to be his responsibility to teach this young kid, Quintel Woods, show him the ropes, okay? And so Pippen wanted to be a mentor to Quintel Woods, okay? Unfortunately, Woods had his incidents too. He was driving more than 80 miles per hour on the Terwilliger curves on I-5 while smoking pot. Quintel Woods, okay? And police pulled over his 2003 Cadillac Escalade. He didn't have license, insurance, or registration. His Tennessee license, which he lived here in Memphis. Yes, Quintel Woods lived here in Memphis. His Tennessee license was under a 1-year suspension after a DUI conviction in Mississippi. The suspension date had passed, but he did not reapply for his license in Tennessee. Okay. Again, he was arrested for speeding, possession, no insurance or registration. Ironically, he admitted to NBA general managers during the pre-draft process that he did smoke. Okay, and he was addicted. As a result, he slipped in the draft. And Bob Whitsitt addressed, okay, addressed the drug issue, saying it's always a concern. We spend a lot of time researching all the players. We were very tuned in. We were very tuned into it last year and the year before. That's what Bob Whitsitt said. Bob Whitsitt addressed the drug issue. Okay. But again, what did I say in a couple of previous videos? Talent over character. That's Bob Whitsitt. Talent over character. Talent over character. And you saw what that led to, right? Starting with J.R. Ryder. Scottie Pippen had something to say about that. The off-court incidents. Okay, Scottie Pippen had something to say about that. So he was rehabbing from knee surgery. Scottie Pippen was during the Armageddon year, 2003 season. Okay. Oh, that was also the year where Chris Mills and Bonzi Wells got into it, and Chris Mills took that dispute to the off the court as well, because it was believed that Chris Mills and a few of his friends were chasing the Blazer team bus back to the airport. Okay. So yeah. Anyway, Pippen rehabbing from knee surgery availed some feelings during an in-depth interview with the Portland Tribune. Okay. He asked, was he embarrassed by the rash of incidents involving his teammates? As always, Pippen kept it 100. I hope it doesn't reflect on me, yet we are all members of this team, he said. It looks bad when players are still getting caught up in the same old BS instead of being at their houses where they are safe. What the F are they doing out on the road? Why even go out to a party? Have your own party. If you have people you want to hang out with, you have a house. Why do you put yourself in jeopardy? You are an icon in this community. People don't stand for that kind of behavior, and they shouldn't. You get into your fancy ass car. Scotty. And start flying down the road, flying down the highway at those kind of speeds. I mean, yeah, it is embarrassing when ish like that happens. People see us as a group, and it's like, oh man, those knuckleheads, those jailblazers. And Pippen said it did bother him a lot. Okay. I'm sure people look at it as if there is no leadership when the guys are off the court. As a player, you are your own man. You make your own decisions. You are responsible for your own actions. And of course, earlier I mentioned that Pippen never forgave Bob Whitsitt for breaking up the team after the 2000 season. He had some words for Bob Whitsitt earlier in the 2003 season, and he asked, did he regret his comments? And Pippen said, hell no. Had things changed? Not that I've seen. He has no attentiveness to this team. He doesn't know what he bought in, how it is responding, what the practice habits are like. Nothing. That was what Pippen said about Bob Whitsitt. Pippen had arrived in '99, hoping to add at least one more championship to his resume. Did it disappoint him that he had accomplished that? Not when they destroyed the team after my first year. This is the only thing that disappointed me. Whitsitt said he had all these warriors and we were going to get this stuff accomplished. I was thinking I was coming in to play with all these guys. Rashid, Bonzi, Steve, Brian Grant, those guys. He made the trade to bring me here, and he dismantled the team the year after. This is the one thing I regret about coming to Portland when he did that. We had nice players here, but I guess he has always done that. Bob is always going on trading sprees. Pippen said he tried to inspire his teammates to push themselves to the limit, but Pippen said it's like beating a dead horse. All of a sudden it will click. We will go on a spurt, and it's like, okay, that's not how us. We can't get from A to Z. Pippen was also asked would he like to see Wallace step up and share more of the league leadership. Pippen said, Rashid is who he is. You are not going to change him. He has played for a number of coaches here, and I don't see a lot how to change. Okay. Then he asked about Bonzi Wells taking more leadership. He said Bonzi is a great talent, but he doesn't put himself at the level where he is consistent. If he were consistent, he could probably be an all-star candidate. But you have to show that you are grown, you have matured, and you can bring it for 82 games every single night. You are getting paid to perform. This is why our league suffers, because they are paying all these cats all the money at a young age. Seems like Scottie Pippen saw the NBA, what it is to today, back in 2003, right? Let me read that again. This is why our league suffers, because they are paying all these cats all the money at a young age. So Scottie Pippen saw it coming very early on. But teams don't get the players' attention. They don't bring it every night. They don't have to now. They sure don't, especially in today's NBA, where it's all threes. Where's all threes? Threes and dunks. Threes and dunks. That's all it is. Threes and dunks. No team play. Scottie was a professional, says Bob Medina. The way he ate, the way he practiced, the way he carried himself, the way he helped others. I remember his first game as a Blazer. We were ahead, but the opponent made a run. Rashid and another player started to argue with 2 minutes left. Dunleavy called a timeout. Scottie said, hey, calm down. We're going to win this game. We're going to get it to stop here. And we did. He was just a calming presence. Okay. So that was Scottie Pippen's feelings on the 2001 season. And those were Scottie Pippen's feelings on the incidents during the Armageddon season, 2003. And those are just his thoughts on Rasheed Wallace and Bonzi Wells. But that's the problem with our league. That's why our league is suffering. They're paying all these cats all his money. Okay. So Scottie Pippen saw this way back in 2003. Okay. And Michael Jordan, I made a video about Michael Jordan predicting load management back in 2002, 2003, somewhere around there. Yeah. How right Michael Jordan was, how right Scottie Pippen was. And look at where our league is now. Scottie Pippen saw it. Michael Jordan saw it. Yep. All right. That's it. And that's all for Throwing It Back with Sean Farrell. I am Sean Farrell. May God bless you all.